What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name Jesus Christ? If the associations which you make in your head every single time you hear the name Jesus are of this: Jesus as a baby, weak, helpless, very young, sometimes even with the face of an adult, sometimes as a baby, and still always around his mother Mary, who seems to take so much care of him that he is completely helpless and has to always be around him because he can't take care of himself. Or even if the image of Christ is of him on a cross, beaten up, broken, and somebody who cannot cope with the pain, a shadow of a man. Unfortunately, you're part of a large group of people who have been lied to. If we believe that there is such thing as evil, or an intelligent force which works against good and against God himself, then it's safe for us to conclude that this is not something that happened unintentionally. So it brings me great joy today that you've came across this video so I can tell you who Jesus actually is. And that's not according to my own opinion, but rather we're going to see himself, what he said, what he did, and who is actually Christ. There is also those things which he said, which if you take out of context and if you do not understand the character of Christ, you can easily get misled and get the wrong conclusions about him. For example, when he speaks about love, not just loving your friends but also loving your enemies, you can see one weak man, an idealist with unrealistic notions that you can love everyone and everything can be peaceful all the time and etc. Something which he truly did not say. Those things can portray him to be so kind and gentle that he's completely defenseless, incapable of defending himself, to the point where everyone can do whatever they want with him. And this is one unhealthy way of understanding the Gospels. One quote of him which can be easily misunderstood is, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." The meek. Sometimes when we hear this word, we imagine somebody who, as I said previously, is completely incapable of defending himself and standing for what they believe is right and for what they love, and therefore, consequently, due to their inability to protect what they love, they are meek. However, the amazing reality is that if we take this word specifically and we see it translated from the original Aramaic language, the definition which you can get is: meek is somebody who is like a person who has a sword and they are capable of using this sword, but they choose to keep it sheathed. You can see how great of a difference that makes. We're not talking about a person who is unable to react and to fight, but rather somebody who is strong, capable of responding to any sort of confrontation in any way they like. However, they choose to act collected, restraining themselves and their power, and most of all, reacting peacefully and lovingly. Those people are the ones that Christ say they will inherit the earth, not those who cannot defend themselves, and because of that they're just keeping all the anger inside with the fake notion that this is some sort of a God-willing meekness, but rather those people who understand that they can fight, but they choose not to. They choose to show mercy, grace, and peace out of love for the person who is provoking them. This is the way that Christ actually thought. Okay, what about something else that Christ has said? You have heard that it was said, "An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth." But I tell you, these are the words of Jesus. Do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. If someone wants to sue you and take your shirt, let him have your coat as well.